be showing you how to make a guinea pig sleeping bag. It's totally different from my other design, so if you've already made that one, you might want to give this one a try too. Before I get started, I wanted to mention that these are for free use only. For example, you can make them for your guinea pigs, for your friends' guinea pigs, for rescues, shelters, that type of thing, but not for resale, please. That just discourages me from wanting to share projects with you. So free only. To get started, cut 4 pieces of fabric. I really can't get this on my camera too well, but I have 4 pieces of fabric here, and they are each cut to 17 by 17 inches. So they are squares. You can do all one fabric if you want to. This is fully reversible though, so it might be fun to do 2 fabrics. Next, we're going to put them right sides together and sew along 3 sides, leaving the top unsewn. I'll show you with the patterned one because it's easier to understand. And you're going to treat each of these as a separate sewing project for this step only. So we're going to do that with this one, and then we're going to do it with the other one too. Basically, this is the top because we can see from the pattern he's facing up and it's stretchy this way. So that's what determines that this is the top. That means that I'm going to not sew that one. I'm going to sew along here, and along here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and do the same thing on this other fabric as well. And I will come back when I'm done. Alright, I am back. I sewed 3 sides and left the top unsewn on both of them. The next step is to turn one of these right side out. It doesn't matter which because this bag is going to be completely reversible, so just pick one. I'm going to just turn the sloths right side out here. Alright, I turned the sloth right side out, and I am going to slip this inside of the tan one so that I have right sides together with these 2 bags and have the openings on the same end. It'll take a little bit of maneuvering, but what you're trying to do is match up the seam areas and the tops. And this would be a great point to use binder clips. In fact, I like those better than pins. You don't have to worry about accidentally leaving a pin behind. So I'm going to put a few binder clips on here. Now I'm going to sew around the top that will be connecting these 2 fabrics. So all around the top in a circle with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Of course, the seam allowance with this, it doesn't matter that much, but we'll just aim for a 1/4 inch and get as close as you can. But you have to leave a gap. That's the important part because this all has to be turned right side out later on. So you want to pick a side and leave a gap of, I don't know, 3 inches. I'm just going to guess about this much or something so that everything can turn right side out, and also so we can feed in the structure that we're going to put in later. I have sewn the 2 halves together, and I left a turning gap somewhere right here. So you can probably guess what the next step is. I'm going to turn everything right side out through this hole. You just reach in and pull till everything's out. So once you turn it inside out, you'll be left with this really long thing and probably be wondering, what am I supposed to do with this? Did I do something wrong? Nope, this is what it's supposed to look like. What we're going to do is push one of these into the other one. It doesn't matter which because, again, this is fully reversible, so you can pick and change your mind later. But I think I will put this inside this just because most people would probably consider this the lining fabric. And just go ahead and do that. Push this in. And you might want to kind of shake it a little bit and get it down inside. The next step is to sew a nice finished edge around the top. I'm going to do 5/8 of an inch because that is one of the easy marks on my sewing machine. Also, I want a little bit of wiggle room so it's easier to put the reinforcement in opening. But anyway, 5/8 of an inch all the way around top stitching, and you'll kind of have to push this open or push it flat as you work. I'm taking these apart where they're glued. You might be wondering where you get these. I have seen them on computer paper, and these are from like yard waste bags. You can find them on things that are holding stuff together, I guess. And they're just like these long plastic things. They're pointy on the ends, so I'm just going to round that a little bit with my scissors on each of the ends. I'm putting all three of these in, and because they're bending this way, I'm going to go the opposite direction. I also taped them together to help me put them through this channel. Again, you really don't have to do this. The sleeping bag is fine without it. In fact, you might like it better without them. It's totally up to you. Now that I have them through, I'm just going to remove the tape on the end that I taped. I made this to be about the same size as my other sleeping bag design, but one problem you may run into is you may not have enough plastic to go all the way around. I did, but just barely. So you may not have enough, and if that's the case, you could probably try to size this down at least a little bit, because this is really big enough probably to hold 2 guinea pigs, and maybe you only want 1 guinea pig in it at a time. But anyway, I'm gonna sew this closed and I will be back. Here it is all finished. Now, if in the future you're like, I don't like this, just remember you can remove it by opening the closure that you did by hand. It's not hard, and then you just sew it back closed again if you decide that you like it better without it. I will show it to you also with a guinea pig in it. Here's Ollie with the finished sleeping bag. I hope you enjoyed this sewing project. Looks like he's gonna enjoy it. Bye!